Back live with you tonight, and thanks for staying on. The South African Local Government Association in KwaZulu-Natal has urged municipalities to take appropriate steps to implement what it calls good governance and the professionalisation resolutions. The body has raised concerns about reports highlighting how some employees with qualifications are obtaining, or without qualifications rather, are obtaining jobs within the KwaZulu-Natal municipality. Salga KwaZulu-Natal chairperson Thami Ntuli joins us now for more on this. Good to have you, and thank you very much for your time tonight. When I look at your statement, there are three particular areas of employment that are coming up. One, it's in government finances. Two, it's in a management position. And then it's in the planning divisions as well. Are you saying in those particular departments we are currently compensating people above the levels of their qualifications?
Not necessarily that there's such as that. In fact, what we are saying is Salga, after the reports we have received from the different media platforms in certain municipalities where there are issues of qualifications to certain employees, we are reminding local government that we have a resolution on the issue of professionalization and also the issue of good governance, which we communicated in February, wherein we were encouraging the good conduct in all municipalities. Hence, seeing these reporters necessitated at Salga in the place of KwaZulu-Natal to advise municipalities that is quite very important to do the holistic qualifications audit with SACA for those that requires some professional bodies with the professional bodies, so as to ensure that the people who are employed in municipalities they don't possess fraudulent qualifications, because you recall that we have been lamenting on the issues of some inferior services by certain spheres within the municipalities. Hence, also mentioning the issue of the cadre deployment, which has brought a massive problem in local government. That is why then as Salga were of the view that we cannot watch when there is an incident and sit back reported about certain officials who are reported to have qualifications that have been not, in fact, confirmed. That is the call we were actually making as Salga. At the same time, we are saying for equal job, there must be equal pay, wherever you work, whether you work in a rural municipality or in a town or city municipality, when you do the same job, it's important that the issue of the payments or salaries should be equal.
So these strategic partners that you're mentioning have always been available to us. I'm talking here about the council planners, the Institute for Local Government Management and the Chartered Institute for Governance Finance. They've always been available. How come we are at this point where we are now getting these reports in the media of possible fake qualifications? Have we not been engaging these strategic partners the way that we should be?
It has been always the conduct in local government that the confirmation of the qualifications had to be made when appointing officials. But after learning from the reports that we have seen in media, especially in a case in Ethekwini, we felt as Salga, we need to encourage all municipalities to conduct this audit of the qualifications in all employees, so as to ensure that some might have not bypassed the processes, maybe conniving with certain individuals who are already in the helm of the employment in the municipalities. Because at the center of this dialogue as Salga, we feel that what is compromised is the issue of service delivery. Because when it could be, in fact, confirmed that an official is in an office possessing the fraudulent certificate or qualifications. That will mean, in terms of service delivery, we'll have a disaster in a field where it's actually supposed to deliver.
Yeah. So, in short, I just want to say to get clarity on this: is the culture of ignoring the verification of qualifications at local government when it comes to our recruitment practices, is that a prevalent thing? Is that a rife thing? Is that normal practice, or is there a degree of diligence still that is being applied?
Well, we're of the view that local government has been doing it, and we believe they have been doing as expected, except for certain incidents where the reports which we are seeing which is telling us that some might have bypassed those verifications. Hence, we are saying it's important that local government must embark now in the holistic audit of the qualifications, even for those who are already in the employment, so as to see whether they were really their qualifications were really audited. And we're also saying for the new recruitments, they must ensure that they use the organs that are there to assist them to verify the issue of the qualifications.
Surely it can't just be yourselves picking up media reports around these, be it a small amount, a negligible amount of municipalities that could have possibly ignored these particular systems. Isn't there a way that ensures that even as you sit right now as Salga, you could be able to request the report and be able to know who's in management and whose qualifications have been verified?
In fact, that is the next step which we will be actually advancing as Salga. Hence, we're saying it's important that they do this, and then in interacting with the municipalities, then we'll learn to understand whether all municipalities will adhere to the call that we have made as Salga, and we'll be in persuasion with the local government to ensure that they do this, because as I've indicated, that our priority as Salga in the province of KwaZulu-Natal is to ensure that municipalities are able to deliver services to the people. And it cripples the services to the people to have people whose qualifications, in fact, may be not relevant for the job that they're actually they're actually employed to actually do.
Yeah. But what would be the benefit of that process if some have already said that unqualified staff cannot be fired? So when we undergo that particular process, to what end?
The benefit will be municipalities will have to take steps, drastic steps, to those who might have submitted fraudulent qualifications, and ensure that they are not part of a system which is meant to deliver services to the people, and compromising services to the people because they are fraudulently occupying those offices. In fact, we are trying to professionalize and to encourage the practice of good governance within local government.
Yeah. But say those particular individuals could have been hired based on political influence. What would happen to them? Because it seems they will not certainly be terminated. But what are the options as to what happens to them?
That's why, in fact, as Salga, we're in fact re-emphasizing also the issue of the regulations that the officials or the employees of the municipalities need not to be office bearers in politics, because that in fact is fighting the issue of professionalizing local government. the issue of good governance. And we believe if we persuade a local government to adhere to such regulations, it will also assist. Hence, we have been calling for local government, in fact, to cease from the issue of cadre deployment. In fact, warning them that this impacts on them. They cannot get a good audit opinion from AG. They cannot be able to deliver quality services to the communities if they have of employees which are employed by virtue of affiliating to a party, a political party that is governing a specific municipality, whose qualifications are not meeting the requirements for the position.
Are you merely suggesting to the mayors, is this a mere suggestion to say mayors oversee this process and give the assurance to council, or is there a strong action that would, I suppose, push mayors towards ensuring that they oversee this process?
That is our call, that mayors, they must oversee together with the council. They must oversee, there must be a report provided to council, so that the council will take some actions to actually address whenever there are culprits within their systems. And for us as Salga is to persuade the mayors or the municipalities to in fact respond to our call, because we are not making this call so that Salga will benefit as an organization. The municipalities themselves will be benefiting when they have employees in particular or specific positions which are fit for purpose, because you know the narrative which is actually created when a municipality is unable to deliver services as expected by the voters is not a good, it's not a positive narrative. Hence, we are bringing the measures that will assist local government, in fact, to reintroduce a different narrative when the employees who are fit for the purpose will be able to deliver, as they have, in fact, they have the expertise, they have the skills and the necessary qualifications.
So please appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on tonight. That is Salga KwaZulu-Natal chairperson Thami Ntuli there joining us on that score.